Everyone saw her trembling hands clutching that folded letter, but no one knew it once save 6 Navy SEALs. And when the guards told her to leave, not even her own son realized who was about to stand for her. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. It happened on a cloudless afternoon at the Naval Academy graduation. Families filled the stands, laughter rising like ocean spray. Proud parents waved flags, clicking photos, calling their sons' names. But amid all the joy stood one woman. Plain clothes, worn shoes, a sun-faded shawl wrapped tight around her shoulders. Her name was Mary Ellis, and she was there for one reason: to see her son Daniel receive his officer's commission. But as she walked toward the seating area, 2 uniformed guards stepped in her path. "Ma'am, this section's reserved for immediate family of officers. I am his mother," she whispered, her voice barely steady. The taller guard frowned. Her dress was simple, her shoes dusty. She didn't look like she belonged among the polished suits and pearl necklaces. The crowd's murmurs began to ripple. A woman in a floral hat leaned to her friend and muttered, "She must be lost." Mary's eyes darted to the rows of white uniforms lined across the field, searching, hoping. Her heart thudded when she spotted Daniel standing tall, unaware of what was happening behind him. The guards insisted again. "Please step aside, ma'am. This area is for invited guests only." Mary's fingers tightened around the folded letter in her hand, the one signed years ago by a man named Captain John Rourke. She had never planned to use it. It wasn't a ticket or a pass. It was a thank you for something she'd done long ago, in silence. The crowd's eyes turned colder now. One guard gently but firmly gestured toward the exit. "Ma'am, you'll have to leave." Mary felt her knees weaken. The world blurred for a second, the sound of the ceremony fading under the rush of humiliation. But before she could move, a voice cut through the murmurs. "Hold on." Everyone turned. From the front row, 6 men in dress whites rose in unison, tall, broad-shouldered, medals glinting in the sun. They moved with a quiet power that silenced even the murmuring crowd. One of them stepped forward, removing his hat. His voice carried calm authority. "This woman stays." The guards froze. The man's insignia shimmered. Navy SEALs. "She's Mary Ellis," he said, turning to the audience now. 12 years ago, in a dusty village overseas, she sheltered 6 of us when the enemy was closing in. We were bleeding, hunted, and out of options. She hid us in her basement for 3 days, fed us, prayed for us, and never once asked for anything in return. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The same people who'd whispered about her shoes now looked at her differently, with awe, guilt, and reverence. Mary's lips quivered. She hadn't wanted this moment. She'd only wanted to see her son graduate, the son she'd raised alone after her husband, a Navy mechanic, never came home. The guard who'd tried to stop her lowered his head, shame reddening his face. "I didn't know," he murmured. The SEAL stepped closer, saluted her, then turned to the 6 men behind him. Together, they stood at attention and gave her the kind of salute reserved for legends. Slow, solemn, and full of gratitude. Daniel turned just in time to see it. Confusion flashed across his face before realization dawned. His eyes filled. The crowd went silent as he ran down from the stage, still in his ceremonial whites, and wrapped his arms around his mother. "You saved them?" he whispered, his voice breaking. "I just did what anyone would have done," she replied, though deep down she knew not everyone would. The SEALs stood beside her now, forming a wall of honor around the woman they once called Angel in the Smoke. The same crowd that had doubted her now stood too, one by one, until the entire stadium rose in silent tribute. Tears shimmered on every face. The guards stepped back, their earlier judgment swallowed by humility. Mary didn't say a word. She simply clutched her son's arm as the national anthem began, and for the first time, she allowed herself to cry. Because sometimes the greatest acts of heroism aren't carved in medals or remembered in headlines. They're hidden in the quiet choices of people no one notices. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And on that bright afternoon, the woman who once hid 6 soldiers was finally seen in the open light she deserved. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and tell me in the comments. Do you believe every act of kindness eventually comes full circle? Subscribe for more stories that remind us that courage often wears the quietest face.